Hi, it's Steve. Welcome to Z-Bar. I'm excited tonight. I've got a couple of bourbons that I really wanted to do a review of, and I didn't want to wait. Quite honestly, these are Elijiah Craig, one of my favorite all-time. Actually, the last few releases have left me a little underwhelmed. Still good. In fact, better than good. They're one of my better ones on the bar, but they've not been up to the level of the C923 release, which is the 2023 release. If you've followed Elijiah Craig at all, it used to be a 12-year age statement on all of them, and so everything was at least 12 years old. In 2023, they stopped that and they started putting a different age statement on, and they've had everything ranging from 10 years all the way up to, I think the longest is the C923. Which was in September of 2023, and that one was 13 years that one had been aged. So they've had a wide variety of age statements on them. The last few have all been in the 10 years, and you can tell. You wouldn't think that one extra year of aging makes as much difference, but it does. And so they came out with this release, B525. It came out in May of 2025. And it's been getting a lot of press. Unfortunately, it wasn't getting out to any liquor stores that I was frequenting, so I didn't have the opportunity to try it until literally right now. So I bought it just the other day from a Maysville Road Meijer store. So Meijer grocery store, they happen to have it. A good friend of mine, Tyler, who's in the Fort Wayne Bourbon Society, reached out to me and said, "Hey, it's here." I had told him I was looking for it, and I ran up and I got a bottle. And so I was so excited. I just got it yesterday, and I was so excited. I tried it last night. Very good. Definitely the best release that I've had in the last couple of years from them. And so I wanted to make sure we reviewed it for you as quick as I could. So that's the attempt. Let's get this a review out for this product. And I thought, well, while I'm doing that, why don't we go ahead and review the Larceny product I picked up about a week ago, Belmont Beverage here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They had a barrel pick, and I haven't had a Larceny barrel pick, a barrel-proof barrel pick. I don't know that I've had one in the last 2 or 3 years. And I may have never had one. I'm trying to recollect if I've ever had them. I've had many of the A125s and the 3-time-a-year releases of Larceny, but I haven't had any of the an actual barrel pick. So this is a barrel pick from Larceny, or that Belmont Beverage and Chalet Party liquor stores did. And it's just coming out. So they're just hitting the stores right now. It's 124.4 proof. It's got a 7-year age statement on it, which I don't know if you follow the Larcenys. They usually have, they don't have an age statement on them. They always say between 6 and 8 years. So it's right in that window, but I'm excited to let you know how this one tastes as well. So we're gonna open this one up tonight. I thought, well, why not do them both? They're both from Heaven Hill. If you're not familiar with the Heaven Hill Distillery, you should be. It's probably one of the best that I've found around. It's a very large distillery. In fact, I think it's the largest distillery in the United States, independently owned and family owned. It's actually been owned by the Shapira family since 1935. So, I mean, my gosh, it's been owned by them for almost 100 years. And they put out some great products. I mean, we got these 2 products in front of me. The Old Fitzgerald is another great product from them. Henry McKenna's from them. I just learned, I'm about to do a different video for you guys here very shortly on Widow Jane. Hope to have that out. I'm gonna have a couple people over and help me do some blind testing with some Widow Jane, which I'm excited about that. But that's one of their products. So they bought them in 2022. The Parker's Heritage. Trying to think of just all. Evan Williams is another one of theirs. I think they've got 10, 12 different brands, and I'm sure I'm missing some of their bigger ones. But these 2 are clearly big brands of Heaven Hill, and I enjoy them. I always enjoy them. Some more than others of these releases, but they're all good. I mean, I've never had a bad one of these barrel proof releases. But there's certainly some better than the other. The flagship, the best in probably the last number of years, has been the C923. Won Bourbon of the Year by many people a couple of years ago, and that one is phenomenal. Like I said, it's 13 years and I think 4 months or 6 months, so it's over 13 years old, and the flavors on it are amazing. I actually have about a half of a bottle still left, so it's open on the bar, but I don't have a lot of it left anymore. That bottle I've just found in Montana, believe it or not, this past Christmas. We happened to be out in Montana doing a family trip out there, and I went into a liquor store and they had one sitting on the shelf. I was floored, and so I bought a C923. I would love to get my hands on another one because it's that good. It's fabulous. I won't steal the thunder right now with this one, but it is good. It is really good, and I'll tell you as I do the tasting on it here how it stacks up. So again, so Heaven Hill Distillery, Larceny, and Elijiah Craig, and I think let's get it going. So I'm going to start with the Larceny. This one I have not opened, so we'll get this open quick for you. Fresh pop. I always love this. This is one of my favorite things to do. Pretty good pop. Again, so 124.4 proof, 7-year age statement on it, and this is from Belmont Beverage and Chalet Party. It's their barrel pick, and it's a private single barrel. So it is barrel proof selection though. All right. So we'll put a little into the glass and put you back together. All right, we'll let it open up for just a second. These are really interesting, the Larcenys, because you would think they're the exact same. The same distillery, they're going to have the same profile, they're going to smell and taste the same. They are not. In fact, they've got different mash bills. The Larceny mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So it's a wheated mash bill. This bourbon is distilled down in Louisville. So it's not distilled in their Bardstown location. It's distilled in Louisville at their Bernheim distillery. And then that's where all of the wheated bourbons are distilled. And then they bring it out to Bardstown, and they actually store it in the rick houses out in Bardstown. But the distilling is actually done down in Louisville, which I didn't know until I did some research on this, just getting ready for this video. But I think that's pretty cool. So the first thing you'll notice is you kind of look at it is the legs on this thing. Holy smokes. That is a lot of, that's beautiful and very oily. Smell wise, oh man. Oh, that's great. Almost a toast, like a bread, toasted bread, maple, maybe a little cinnamon in there as well. Obviously the caramel notes, I'm getting caramel. I get caramel notes anytime that I do one of these. I don't know what it is, so caramel's my thing. I always say caramel. My wife makes fun of me because I say it all the time. But that's a great nose. Wow. Surprising, because Larceny to me usually doesn't have that. I get a lot of ethanol from Larceny usually, and not a lot of great aromas, but that's really good. All right, here we go. We're gonna go in for a first taste. Oh my gosh, what big flavors in there. I'm definitely getting some molasses, a really long finish on it. Maybe some like hazelnut or nuts. Wow, that is really good. There is the caramel that starts to come through. It does, the heat does show through, but to be honest with you, it does not drink at 124 proof. It's got that hug, that Kentucky hug that I talk about all the time, so that's certainly there. But oh my gosh, I mean, let's see if you guys can see that. I don't know if that's gonna show up, the legs on that thing. It is amazing. This is really good, guys. Wow. Yeah, the second taste is maybe even better. The flavors are just exploding in my mouth. My mouth's starting to water. I don't know if you get that when you have the high proof stuff. Sometimes your mouth just starts watering because there's so many flavors going on. It has that feeling to it. I talk about the Old Forester a lot of times. The single barrel Old Foresters do that to me almost all the time. They kind of explode in my mouth. I would put this up with the best one of these I've had on my bar is a C924, which is just a couple of releases ago. But that was just so good. I ended up buying a couple bottles of that. I almost never buy extra bottles, but I bought a couple extra bottles of that C924. This is in that caliber. It's that good. Highly recommend this. I think I like to do in my bar, I catalog everything in my bar. Someday I'll probably show that to you guys, just all the catalog of what I have. And I put on a 5-star rating on it. And so for me, I think this is probably, I think this is a 4.5 star. I'm going to stop short of 5-star just because I have a tough time with a 7-year-old product getting a 5-star rating. But man, it is as good for a 7-year-old product as I've had. And that flavors are big. They're great. So wow, I need to stop drinking it and head to the next one. But man, it's so good. Highly recommend that. If you're in the Fort Wayne area, hunt this one. The Belmont has them. I did have to ask for it, interestingly enough. I went and asked the store manager at the Belmont I went to if they had anything back behind, and he said, all I've got is a Larceny. And I said, let me take a look. And he brought it out, and I'm like, I've never even seen a barrel pick. Like, yeah, I'll take that. And $75, so price-wise, it's not crazy. It's really good for a weeded bourbon. This one's one I'm going to go back to for sure, and I might try to find another one. Again, I rarely do that, especially even single barrels. I just rarely do that, but this is really good. So that's good. Let's move the Larceny to the side. Let's go over to the Elijiah Craig. So the Elijiah Craig is, that to me it's their flagship kind of. I call it their everyday bourbon. Their Elijiah Craig. They're aged a little bit longer. Even their Elijiah Craig small batches are aged a little bit longer. This one, as I said, is 11 years, 6 months. So this is their B525, 78% corn, 10% rye. So it's a rye mash bill, and then 12% malted barley. 126.2 proof. So 126.2 proof. Sells for about $75. I think that's what I got it for when I bought it at the Meyer yesterday, pardon me. This one is distilled in Bardstown. So this one's in the Bardstown distillery. This one's distilled and then stored there as well for, obviously in this case, at least 11 years, 6 months. And the other thing about this is that age statement is how those age statements work. They can have bourbon in there because it's still a blended bourbon. They can have bourbons in there that are older. They just can't have anything younger than that if they're going to have that age statement on it. So it's at least 11 years, 6 months old. And again, 126.2, so a little bit higher proof than the Larceny. But let's go. Let's give it a shot. This is exciting. I had it again last night, so this one's maybe going to have opened up a little bit more. We'll see. But it was so good even last night. So, all right. All right, we'll let her open up for just a second. It's got those same legs that the Larceny had. A lot of that's just the proof point really showing through. But that's so oily. It's so pretty. Again, I'll kind of show it to you here. If you can see that. The legs are, what they talk about is that's how the bourbon, when you kind of swish it around and you come back down off of it, that's the bourbon just kind of, leaking down, if you will, in the glass, and it kind of holds in that upper area that you just pulled that off of for a while. So good. So cool. All right, so let's get the nose. Interesting. I'm getting more ethanol in this one than I got last night. Last night it was almost instant. I got the caramels and everything off of it. Let's see if I go in for a second smell here. Okay. Yeah, the caramel's coming through now. It's interesting. I'm getting some fruit notes that I don't know that I got last night when I drank it the first time. Maybe like orange or citrus of some sort. It's got a great nose to it. I hate saying this, but I almost think that Larceny's got a better nose to it right now. Even though this is got a good nose to it, that one had such a good nose to it. All right, so let's give it a taste and see how it goes. Oh my gosh! Again, the explosion of flavors. Oh my gosh! And I remember that from last night as well. It is probably the most flavorful one I've had since C923, and it's really not close. I mean, there have been, again, I don't want to disparage any of those releases because the A125, the C924, they were all good. I mean, and I have people that really enjoyed them, so I certainly don't want to make it seem like they're bad, but they were very, I'll call them average. They were not ones that you needed a second bottle of. When you got through them, you were going to be fine. You know, it was a good bottle, but it was nothing you were chasing. Not like that C923, which I said I would buy another one of those in a heartbeat if I found one. This is on that caliber. So taste-wise, it's certainly got the caramels, vanilla. Let me do just another taste because there's something else there as well. Oh my gosh. I think it's like butterscotch or toffee or something. It is. Holy smokes! That is really good. It's so rare to get that. To me, in a bourbon that's. I find that when you have the wheated bourbons, they a lot of times will have those flavors start coming through for you, but in a rye mash bill, that's good. There is a little peppery, and cinnamon stuff on the back end of it. So that's actually, after it's kind of taming down, I can still feel it on the back end, even after I've took that sip, probably 5-6 seconds ago, and I'm still tasting it. Dude, this is excellent. I would encourage anyone to go out and find this thing. If you see one, buy it. It is that good. And I said I rarely go 5-star. I'm going to go 5-star on this. This is a 5-star bourbon. I have not given the last few releases 5 stars as I've been reviewing them. They've all been lower stars, most of them 4.5 or 4. So they're still great, super quality bourbons, but this is an absolute 5-star. Is it better than C923? Probably not. It's not better than that one. That one was unbelievable, but it is certainly got it's got me back excited for the next release from Elijiah Craig and Heaven Hill. And I don't know that I was as excited about it until I started hearing some of the reviews on this B525. Hopefully the next release, which will come out in March, will get here quicker. So this we're in August right now, middle of August, and it took until now for it to get to Indiana. So it may have been around in Indiana, the last few weeks, but I never heard anybody locally finding it until just the last few weeks. So people were going down to Kentucky and finding it, and obviously there's some of the influencers that are out there where they're getting it sent to them, but I'm not big enough for that yet. So anyhow, this is really, really good. I'm telling you, this is one to go chase. Would I pay more than MSRP for it? $75, maybe $85? No, I probably wouldn't. I'd wait and find one that was at that price. They'll be around. That's the beauty thing. Once these things start showing up, they'll start showing up in mass. Like I'll start seeing this thing now that it's starting to hit the liquor stores here in Fort Wayne. It'll start showing up and it'll sit on shelves for a while. There's plenty of A125 still sitting on shelves today, and I'm sure that's why these haven't come out. They're trying to get those pushed and moved before these come out. But I will absolutely buy another bottle of this and keep a second one on the bar. So hope you enjoyed it. That's the review. As I said, I'm working on what I think is going to be a really cool one, a Widow Jane project for you. I don't know if you know much about Widow Jane. I literally, until I started researching the project, came up with the idea, let's do a blind and look at the 10-year, 13-year, and 15-year Widow Jane, and let's blind them. And let's get some of the Z-Bar crew over, let you get a chance to meet some of those guys. And we'll talk a little bit about Widow Jane and some of the cool stories behind them. But Heaven Hill owns them. How shocking. They bought them in 2022. So it's one of the Heaven Hill products. So these two, one of their brothers, sisters is Widow Jane, which we'll do a pretty big review on. I actually have a number of bottles that we're going to talk about as well, not just those three. But we'll talk about those three as well and do a blind of those, which should be a fun experiment for you guys to witness. So if you have other ideas for me to review, please put it down in the comments. If you have questions, put those down in the comments. I'd love to answer your questions. I'm still very much learning the bourbon world. I've been at this thing for probably about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years that I've been drinking bourbon and enjoying bourbon. But I'm still, learning this whole YouTube, TikTok, that world, is new to me. So help me out. Also, subscribe. If you can hit the subscribe button, I would love to have you be part of the journey that I'm going to go through here over these next few episodes and hopefully next few years. Thanks so much. Again, this is Steve at Z-Bar. Talk to you soon. Cheers.